Hello and greetings, everyone. This is Silver-Quill, finally getting on board. We had some technical difficulties, as is my lot in life. It ain't a lot, but it's my life. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you'll join me in extending a warm greeting to my bud, Dusty Katt.
Hello.
Hello. Dusty, how you be?
I be okay. Not too bad.
Excellent.
It's been hot in Jose. Oh my god. It's been 105 plus for like 4 days. Then it was 96 today.
Well, I can empathize. It's been hot here in Denver, but at the same time, we cooled off today, which is, well, I'm not trying to rub that in, but I can commiserate.
Oh man, it was like being back in Arizona. I don't live there for a reason anymore.
I know what you mean. I was in Arizona not too long ago, so I definitely know of what you're talking about.
Yes, I love that meme of Bobby Hill, and they're taking him to Arizona, and he gets out of the car, and he's, oh my god, it's like standing on the surface of the sun.
Oh, if only they knew. All right, and I can tell from people's reactions that they are able to hear you, for which I'm glad. There was touch and go. Yeah,
it's a little touch and go. And we actually have a little bit of technical difficulties where I'm hearing myself a half a second late, which is causing me difficulties talking.
Well, one option is to I don't know if you can mute a Discord call or mute me.
Well, let me see what I can do here. Let me see. Can I mute this?
You can mute me on the channel and listen in through the stream itself, which it's...
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to mute. I mean, I can mute my mic.
But then I won't be able to hear you. Well, while Dusty ponders options, I want to give some shout-outs to Commodore Steel, Cherry Fluffbelly Official, M488 Thunderbird and Enderpup, Brian Luna and Matthew Denier. Third correction, Denler. Sorry, Matthew, I'm really bad at this. Pokemon Fire Eevee, my good bud Mad Munchkin. And let's see here. Jude 3300 and Swordbreaker 12. Let's see. Elise Serenity, Rocket Raider, Master Ghidorah 91. And see some more folks at the bottom. I see William Crow, always good to see you. And of course, my good bud Trinary, ever faithful. Jasper Flair. And, well, I definitely know Dusty's in the chat. Stephen Newcomb, Inquisitor 751. And,
this is just weird.
Yep, life is weird. Champ to Stay, Seth Moss, Cosmina Inspira, Gaiety, Lord Azul, Gachapon 37, and Battleship Agincourt. And I think I've covered everybody on the Twitch. Oh no, on the YouTube. I need to talk about Darian Root, welcome. And Khalid Hussein. And Tasselhuff Burrowfoot. Egads. Oh, and Mr. Sonic the Hedgehog. Meanwhile, over on the Twitch, we have Helsing Ghost 1, Flitter Chris, hey Chrissy, Wolfie Star 010, Gojline 91 again, and Riverdalem, and Rikaku the Psycroy. So I'm probably mispronouncing that. Psycroy. Oh my goodness. So, I think I've covered just about all the names I can see. So, well, just want to say thank you all for coming by and working with a slightly later start. We wanted to give Dusty a stream time that would work with him.
Yeah, because I normally work till 5 o'clock, which would put me leaving work when this starts.
So
thank you for that.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. Because today, what I'm working on is something I think is very near and dear to Dusty, a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
But Dusty, here's the sitch, and I guess you can follow along the screen. I'm working on this Kamen Rider. I don't know if you know of the franchise.
I know of it, yeah.
Working on, well, basically a character to take over for tokusatsu reviews. Mm-hmm. So I've been working on this Kamen Rider, making sure this is actually playing with the old Twitch. Mm-hmm. And now, well, every rider needs a bike.
Yes, they do.
And so, I'm in the wrong window. I was looking online, and I found what has to be one of the more curious inspirations I've ever seen. A prototype bike, more conceptual than anything solid, made by Kawasaki.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it very distinct and useful for what I have in mind.
Okay.
So I'm just gathering the references here. Let's see here. Boop. And boop. I don't know the name of this, only that it's made by Kawasaki, but
I have actually never seen this.
Well, I'm glad I can deliver something unexpected. But it goes in a direction that's, I think, debated within the motorcycle community. At what point does a vehicle stop being a motorcycle as you add more wheels?
According to some government agencies, if you put 3 wheels on a vehicle, it's no longer a motorcycle and becomes a car. And you don't have to wear a helmet.
Well,
the slingshot, but that by Polaris, most states you don't have to wear a helmet to drive.
That just sounds like a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea.
Ay.
But Yamaha made a 2 front wheel, 1 rear wheel bike that is on the market to this day. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a quote-unquote motorcycle. And it does the same thing this one does, which is it slides the wheels like in the rider position picture.
Yes, and that's what attracted me to it. I gotta worry about anyone who says you don't need a helmet while operating this. I don't care what you classify it as. That's just a bad idea.
Yeah, this is more of a motorcycle. A slingshot is more of a fit-in 3-wheel car.
And let's see here.
Now, this is more of a street motorcycle. So in all of the Kamen Rider I've ever seen, most of their bikes are based on dirt bikes for maneuverability and jumping ability. This bike would have none of that.
Well, then I can reveal the second idea of my character.
Okay.
So, got a human form here, got a driver here. My idea is that if you change the icon to, say, a horse icon, the rider merges with the bike and it shifts to a horse. So for jumping, going on treacherous paths, there's the horse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah, that worked.
And if you go with the eagle symbol, similarly, the bike would shift to an eagle. So even though this model is not great for dirt biking as it is with many of the riders, I think my little gimmick can slightly compensate.
Yeah, that would compensate for that.
Now, of course, I'm a bit underprepared as that I haven't really sketched out the transformation, but I have that in my head. Let's see if I can make that more a reality. And for that, I will need also a horse.
Horse.
Horsey. In fact, dare I say, I'm going to see what elements I can shift. Let's draw the horse first and see what elements need to be updated to make the bike work. Yes, I think this is a good plan.
Cool. Khalid, having Beavids back on the Moose Line crew was amazing. He is a funny, funny man.
Exceptionally. That was a great time.
I know, geez.
I have to apologize, Dusty. I never got a chance to see you afterwards and just wish you well before we all had to go our separate ways.
Oh, I know, but you're a busy, busy man. You had like 2 more panels that day alone.
Oh, yeah. I had 10 panels over the course of the weekend.
I hate you.
Really?
Oh, my God.
Well,
that's a little bit too much work, buddy.
Oh, I don't mind it, but I honestly, I would have been up a creek if not for Sweetie Bloom.
Yes. I only had 6.
Only 6, he says.
Yeah.
Only 6, this guy.
Well, geez, between you had 10, AC and Saber and those guys had like 8 or 10. They brought Cartoon Court, which I heard was a riot. The guys from Vancouver brought Pony Feud down, which the VIPs absolutely loved. So I think that's going to be a fixture from now on.
Now, I don't know
as much. They put a lot of effort into that.
I'm not as familiar with Pony Feud. I want to hear about this.
So you've heard of Family Feud?
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's the same show with the same graphics and all that stuff, but they go through and get all the questions and all the stuff, and they've got all of the visual, and somebody's on the computer putting the right numbers up and everything. It's so cool live.
That sounds impressive. I'm afraid I missed out on that one.
Oh, yeah, they put a lot of effort into it.
Well, more power to them. Then yes, by all means, I want to hear that become a fixture. Though cartoon...
Yes, Khalid, I heard that Queen Elizabeth went down.
Ah, yes.
And she did it in Scotland, of all places.
Khalid, I only heard yesterday about the Queen. It's hard to really... I've been watching the internet and the social media reaction. And, I'm learning a lot about how the Queen was perceived, and not all of it always kindly. But not also...
There's a lot of countries out there that do not look at the monarchy in a good light.
And understandably so. I get that. The question is, well, they say, well, you shouldn't complain about that during the wake, but then, well, there's never an appropriate time for that discussion. Mm-hmm. It's got to happen, but it's got to happen. What do we do? It's a fair question, and I don't always have an answer.
Yeah, I mean, think of all the countries that have Queen Elizabeth on their money, right? And now she's gone. So do they actually reprint all of their money with George on it, who's only going to be monarch for maybe 10 years tops? He's already 73. So he could be dead within 20 years. So are you going to change all your money waiting for 20 years and have to change it again?
No, thank you. I don't know, but how could I bet? I'm sorry for her family as I'd be sorry for anyone who has lost a family member. Mm-hmm. I understand why people are mad and why they feel the need to speak up. Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing I can hope for is we understand that, well, I'm fumbling with my words here. Basically understand that there's 2 elements at play here. There is the personal life, which is the loss of a family member, and then there is the political factor, which is where the Queen and indeed the entire royal family are being held to task.
Well, one of the things that came out of today, I saw highlights of Charles' first speech as king.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know this about him, but he was very behind climate control, taking care, doing the whole world climate thing, right? He had a whole bunch of charities he was part of. And in his speech, he said that I can't do that anymore. You're the king. Of course you can do that now. Get behind all this stuff. But no, now he's like going to not do anything. He's going to sit there like the queen and not do shit.
I don't know.
Made me angry.
I don't understand the monarchy. I mean,
Neither.
I gotta say, as an American, my most prominent experience with monarchies has been through fiction. And usually those are very idealized monarchies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was playing the SCA, and we only take the best things of the medieval times. We don't get the gonorrhea or the any of that stuff. The muck and the... Basically, it's the idealized medieval times, which is what you see in movies and all that kind of stuff. When you start thinking really hard about those times and the Black Plague and all this other stuff, and you start traveling these countries, seeing the old castles and the old buildings, living in that time period must have really stunk.
Well, it was all they knew.
And that's just because nobody bathed.
Yeah. We wouldn't last 5 minutes because we're used to a much different culture and climate.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's why most people in those days only lived till 40. I mean, most people who were 60 were like ancient.
I think that's why George R. R. Martin gained popularity, because he really focuses on a lot of the misery of those times. Of course, I also...
There was a lot of it.
Although I realized it's been 10 years since his last Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire book, and I was like, oh, I'm so pissed right now. The moment I realized. But I said it with a cheery face.
Yes.
So that's okay. Now let's see here. I see a question from Gojaline91. Who is your favorite MLP villain?
Oh, it's Nightmare Moon.
Nightmare Moon. So
has been from the beginning.
Now, I guess there's a follow-up to that then. Do you treat Nightmare Moon and Princess Luna as separate entities, or do you still see a lot of commonalities between them?
I see a lot of commonalities. I think that you can't separate Nightmare Moon from Luna, because basically it was Luna inner demons getting a hold of her. And trust me, I've been down that road.
All right, makes sense to me.
It's anybody who has had mental issues or tough times and has gotten through that and is better today than they were, can empathize with Luna and what she went through, and can even see what's the word I'm looking for?
Empathetic?
Yes. Empathetic with what she's gone through, because they've probably gone through some of it themselves.
Yes, I especially liked when she talked with Sweetie Belle about, I too have a sister who often shines brighter, and I've struggled with that. I mean, that's speaking from...
That was a well-written episode.
let's see here. Okay. Khalid is wondering, well, this is a trip down memory lane. BronyCon 2019.
Uh-huh.
Hoovesline panel. Ray said, this is somehow Twilight's fault. Everyone started laughing. I mean, most things tend to become Twilight's fault, I guess.
Yeah, I think in the context of the act that was being portrayed at the time, I think one of them was playing Twilight.
Uh-huh.
That basically they were going down that road of Twilight's freakouts were the cause of what was going on. I don't remember that exact act, but we do a lot of where the guys play Twilight or Cadence or wherever, and they go off in directions that the show never went.
Yeah.
So basically it's all like, oh, it's all Twilight's fault, and that can be funny in the context of that act at that moment. But
it's not an actual condemnation of Twilight. We've got to make that clear.
No, not at all. Somebody asked me, what kind of bikes do I have? Well, right now my main motorcycle is a 2017 Honda Africa Twin. That's the only motorcycle I own at the moment. But I do have bicycles, a 2007 Quick Specialized. Oh, that's Cannondale, I'm sorry. And my Scott 960 Genius mountain bike.
Chrissy, you need to get some sleep. I totally understand, because you're on the other side of the world. Go to bed.
Other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yes, rest up. We'll see you and talk with you again soon.
Uncle Dusty says go to bed.
Yes. Obey the Uncle Dusty.
Go to bread.
Or to bread. The life of bread. All right, so have a very good rest. Now, let's see here. See, for the moment, I'm going to avoid... Trinary spoiling me. As is Wolfie Star, I did not get a chance to thank you for your tip. Wolfie saying he was glad he could meet us at Everfree Northwest, and though he can't stay for long, he wanted to say hi. So, Wolfie, I thank you once again, but please know you can always say hi. It does not require a monetary donation.
Mm-hmm.
I never want people to think, oh... I'll tell you about one of my most awkward moments in the fandom. This was at Nightmare Nights. I think it was like 2015, 2016. They set up community guests alongside guests of honor in the autograph room. And there was there was rightfully long lines to talk to all the vocal talents, and I believe that was when Lauren Faust was there as well.
Maybe. Yeah.
So I'm sitting off to the side, not a soul coming over, and I don't resent that in the slightest. I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I'll sign people, I'll give autographs in the hallway. This should be for the stars, the guests of honor. And so that was just sort of sitting there. I just felt so awkward because, this is not where I'm needed.
Speaking about sitting there and being awkward.
Oh?
The last Equestria LA, when they had Bonnie and Firefly and John Delancey.
Mm-hmm.
So they had all three of the big names. And it's like, I go walking past the autograph room, and there's a giant line for Lauren, a giant line for Bonnie, and John Delancey is sitting there reading a book. Nobody in his line. And I went over and I tried to be nice and talk to him and see how he was. And he was a little snippy. And I went, I'm sorry about this, John. I just wanted to say hello, see how you were doing. And he sort of like, yeah, it's okay. Because they had too many big names at that one. They were stealing from each other.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm sure John had other things he could have done that weekend.
Now, I have only gotten to say a brief hello to John Delancey. It was at BabsCon. We were backstage waiting for the next thing. He was talking with, I think, his agent at the time, just in person. Mm-hmm. And I intruded in the conversation just saying, look, I just want to say thank you for all you've done. Shook his hand. I don't think he even saw my face in the dark. But that's as close as you're going to get. That's all you can really do.
John is a really nice guy when you get to know him.
Well, that's just it. I can't force myself into that into that sort of knowledge.
It's sort of a weird thing. I thought I was on the outside even after the whole. He interviewed me for the movie and all that stuff, and we spent some time at New Jersey. But a year later, I think it was 2 years later, we were at Nightmare Night, Everfree. And we were sitting at the bar, and he's talking with his agent and somebody, and I just came in and had a cider. I gave him a wave. He waved back, big smile. And as soon as that person left, he just, Dusty, come here. I was like, what? It's like, okay, you remember my name for one. So I go over and I sit down, and he has to tell me all about his sailing debacle, because he went out on his sailing boat and the motors failed. And all of that, and his agent is just holding her head. It's like, oh my god, yeah, I almost lost him. He almost died. Mm-hmm. Like shit. But he had to regale me with that. It was fun.
Well, I'm certainly glad we didn't lose him to sailing.
No, we didn't lose him to sailing. But he's, again, Rocket just says, yeah, we won't see you anymore because the crowd died off. They killed him off.
Oh, well.
On Picard Season 2.
So they say, but you never know.
But he has shown up in Lower Decks, which means he is still on a storyline somewhere. So he can come back for Lower Decks. He can come back for anything that's prior to Picard.
Which at this point is everything.
Just everything, yeah.
Also, just a warning to everyone. Don't take for granted that if you've seen something that the rest of the audience has as well. We want to be as spoiler-free as we can help. Now, granted, Picard Season 2 has been out for a while, so I don't consider that, no harm, no foul. But please be careful. I mean, I have not yet gotten to see Lower Decks Season 3 premiere.
I haven't seen much of Lower Decks at all. Because we won't get Paramount Plus in our house. You have to watch Paramount Plus through their viewer, and it's full of spyware.
Well, it's out on the first 2 seasons are out on DVD now.
Yeah, I should go buy the DVDs, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, in time. But I got to say, it wasn't until I got to see it with some of our buds, Sky and Igor of My Little Ties. Until I saw it with them, I didn't like the show. It had some of the worst introductory episodes.
Well, almost any animated show has like 4 or 5 or 6 to get the wheels going. I mean, even My Little Pony, the first half of the first season was sort of like, yeah, they were okay, but they weren't as good as season 5 or season 6.
Oh, well, there's an age-old argument within the fandom. Everyone's talking about when the show was at its best, or when it quote-unquote died.
Yeah, that's all.
Then again, we as a fandom...
I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. I enjoy every season. Every season has high points. Every season has a low point. It's just the nature of the beast.
Indeed. But yeah, some people have said our fandom is dead so many times. I'm starting to think
I've been dead and buried 7 times. Here I am. What do you know?
Honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I shouldn't get some sort of fandom life insurance.
I know, we'd be rich by now.
I know, right? Or we'd be accused of fraud. Your fandom's not dead. Well, the internet proclaimed it dead.
So Thunderbird asks if we've seen JoJo or MacGyver. Well, I grew up with MacGyver. I watched it a lot. But I have not seen JoJo, and I don't even get it. I don't even get the art. I've seen the art.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yeah. I've seen the art, and all it reminds me of is Aeon Flux. And I couldn't get that either.
Aeon Flux was... Yeah, that's a weird one in and of itself.
God, yeah.
Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Inquisitor. Thank you for your support. So, going through the coffee. Let's see here. Just looking through the chat. Magical Dude wants to know our opinion on the weakest season of MLP.
Probably the one Josh Heber was the story lead for. And I like Josh. Josh is a good guy. But it brought us a couple of real stinkers that season. I think the go-kart episode was that season. The Rainbow Dash becoming a Wonderbolt was that season, which both you and I said story was told very badly. But there were a couple of more.
Let's see. I'm just
really mediocre.
Let's see
episodes that season.
That all happened within season 6. Yes.
Yeah. So 6.
Culminating with the redemption or reformation of the Changeling Empire, which I know threw people off as well.
Yeah, it really threw people off. I mean, the next couple of seasons, they sort of redemption of having that happen. You know, where the king became a better character, and they started fleshing out more of the new changelings. It was pretty well done in the next few seasons.
Yeah, I didn't really like the new changeling designs until we actually got to see them just be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. Well, you give it time. For me, the weakest, what I thought was the 3rd season, mostly because one, it was cut way down, like only half the episodes, and with that so infamous sudden shift to Twilight being a Alicorn princess, and it felt rushed and arbitrary, and left everybody so divided. And it's
the end of season 2 was completely rushed because they thought it was over. Hasbro had not actually greenlit 8 more seasons halfway through them doing season 2. So the Twilight becoming a princess was supposed to be the series ender. It wasn't supposed to go on past that. So when Hasbro basically said, we'll give you more, here's another season, Larson had to rewrite that entire episode quickly because they were just about to make it.
And endure the fallout as a result.
Yeah.
I like Mitch.
You know what? He really took that ball and ran with it. He really did. It's like he could have pulled himself up in his house and got mad about it, but he didn't. He thought it was funny, and he really made that whole thing.
Yes, he he definitely had a good sense of humor, and well, that's part of what makes him so much fun to be around. Or to have him randomly sign something on you, not for you, on you.
Ender, I call out. I play the games, and there's a ball in radio plays. So yes, I do like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think you dropped out there for just a sec.
Yeah, I said I do like them both.
Okay. Let's see here. Swordbreaker 12 wants to know your opinion on, well, Discord be the twist of Discord and Grogar.
Depends. How are you going to tell the end of that season if it wasn't Discord? Right? We thought it was Grogar. It was the biggest swerve that they could have pulled. And how many people held that secret for over a year? Right? How many voice actors, how many animators, how many directors did that dealt with our fandom kept that secret? Oh my God. Right?
Yeah, close to the chest.
Yeah, it was amazing. I thought it was a great twist. I really did. Because at coming down to the end of the season, I thought they'd just written themselves in a corner. How are they going to end this? It's like, season's coming to an end. It's coming here. What's going to happen? It's like Discord. And Discord's been a thorn in their sides for the entirety of the series. Right? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't Discord cause more havoc?
And the focus of the season was on the triad of Cozy Glow, Tyrek, and Chrysalis. So, in a lot of ways, they earned the spot as the final villains more than, quote, Grogar.
Grogar did. Yeah.
I mean, I guess there'll always be a part of me that would like to see how Grogar really is.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Grogar is still out there. Because Discord was Grogar.
Yep.
Which means Grogar is still out there. Which means he could come in G5. Couldn't he?
He could.
I mean, if you're bringing Discord back in the G5 comic, therefore we now have a link back to the baddies of G4. Right?
Yes, indeed. Now, personally, here's the thing. We played the Ancient Evil from 1,000 years ago several times over. Nightmare Moon, Sombra, according to the comics, Chrysalis as well, but that one's a little bit shakier. I'd actually like to see an ancient villain come back and having the reflection of all those years, all those centuries. Maybe they're not the main bad guy this time. Maybe they're actually a council. Well, a counselor is like, look, let me tell you how the villain sees this playing out. Here's how they look at it. Because I like the idea of time giving reflection, and that a villain can reform without the need of rainbow lasers.
Would be nice.
It'd be interesting. I didn't know.
Could you believe that during the Netflix show that the main five actually find old Canterlot because they found it in the comic, and they come across a statue, and they come across T-Rex and Cozy Glow, Chrysalis, who have been statues for 1,000 years. And now it's time for Sunny to take care of a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Try to reform them. And she does a bad job of it. And maybe Izzy is the one that does it. But could you imagine them coming back?
I could imagine them coming back, and I think they'd be royally steamed at how much the place has changed.
Oh, yeah. It's like they could be seriously insane. Right? And who wants to be a statue for 1,000 years to actually see what's going on or hear what's going on? Because we got that from Discord. Discord said that he could hear and see the entire time he was a statue.
Mm.
So could you imagine the three of them being lost to time in a deserted and decrepit Canterlot for 500 years?
I could see that,
You'd
but
think they were unhinged before.
I could see that happening, but with it would come the question of what happened to Twilight, because I don't think she would leave that punishment unresolved if she could help it. But we're back.
But in the comics, have you read the comic yet?
I have, and I know the origin of the crystals thanks to it.
Yes, the origin of the crystals. So it sounds like did this crystal thing before they would have had time to go back and deal with the three.
Well, I wish I had an answer, but I do not.
We don't. All we got is speculation.
Speculation, but boy, howdy am I...
Imagination.
Imagination? Actually, I've been reading some documents on punishment and, well, the most effective... Well, let's see here. What were the... Let's see here. First, I've only gotten to read one so far. Let's see here. What was it called? Twilight Choice. It was called... From the University of Chicago Press Journals, Rewards and Punishments as Selective Incentives for Collective Action. A real page-turner, I can tell you. That's going to be a video I hope to release very quickly because, well, I spent forever on that Common Ground review. Now I really want to get some more videos out. But it's actually pretty interesting to see how people view the concept of reward and punishment and to try to phrase it through those crystals, which are simultaneously selective rewards and punishments. Get along, magic's there. Be aggressive, magic disappears. I'm still not sold on the idea that Twilight would have a death pit open below ponies and suck them in. I feel like that's someone else's doing.
Yeah, that's someone else's doing.
Because you can take all the edgy headcanon you want, but I don't consider Twilight that kind of ruler.
Not unless all of her friends died and she went insane at year 724.
And even then, I think Twilight knew what was coming, and I think she prepared for it as best she could.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I do not buy into the incompetent ruler. I do not buy into the pessimistic views of what we've done so far, of what we've seen thus far. But I do need to better understand the concept of punishment and reward in this here crazy mixed up world. So we shall see. Let's see here. I'm not great at mechanics. Because, man, I look at the interior of this wheel. Look at all them. Just all components. This is why my hat always goes off to engineers. That they can keep track of all this and know how this, that, and the other thing interacts is astounding.
Nowadays, the computer keeps track of it.
Well, good on them for making a good computer then.
Okay, guys, I know we started late, but my dinner is ready.
Oh, your dinner's ready. Go take a break. I'll answer some questions. If you'd like,
I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to back in a little bit.
Sounds good. But in the meantime, I shall continue on. Let's see here. Blue Griffin wondering if the real Grogar died a long time ago. You know, I'm gonna borrow from Bruce Wayne, giving advice to Terry McGinnis. Don't believe they're dead until you've seen the body, and even then, there's some doubt. Plus, it is the nature of Equestria. Apparently, they actually have very little mythology. They think they have mythology, but it always turns out to be true. Rockhoof and the other pillars, Star Swirl the Bearded. What other legends? Daring Do was supposed to just be fiction within fiction. Nope, she's a real pony. So I fully expect Grogar could make a return. It's just a question of when, how, where, and so on and so forth, etc., etc. Now, as for how, I'm just wondering about this here bike. I'm sticking with the colors that the prototype is going with, but I think I'll be updating those to better match Kamen Rider Quill, which I'm pretty pleased with how it's coming together. I've got to get a scarf flowing and add some shading so it's much more dynamic. But also wondering what I can do to spruce it up. Well, everything goes in little stages. In some ways, getting the bike down, then I know how the Silver-Quill body can interact with the design. Synchree, you want to see that deer and going to seed. Oh, and Gachapon37, I have been saving. I appreciate the reminder. Always appreciate that reminder. Let's see, I'm going to... See, this is going to be a bit more solid. Because my idea, is that the horse and eagle heads will be folded under the headlights. And honestly, if you're wondering how am I going to animate or bring this on screen, I'm wondering the same thing. This is part of the fun. I love to envision this stuff. It's part of just the creative mind. And then when you challenge yourself to do it, that's the mechanical mind, I guess, the doer, the implementation. And it's not always easy. And it can be frustrating, but at the same time, it's also fiercely rewarding when you succeed. And I enjoy that, I did it. It doesn't matter if the video is not my most popular. I'm still proud of what I've done in it. Let's see here. Komodo Steel, have I noticed that the unicorn painting on the train was wearing a suit that almost looks like Shiny Armor's royal clothes? Unicorn painting on the train. Komodo, do you have an episode to point to? I'd be curious, because Shining Armor did say he had a favorite uncle, who I assume was also military, or part of the Royal Guard. But we don't know much beyond that. There we go. And let's see here. There's also, I'm just looking over. Trying to look this over, and yeah. It's funny what is not aligned. Because this looks a lot different than what they present. Let's see here. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, and Godzilla 91, I appreciate the compliment. Khalid, you're disappointed that Gabe and Jax Blades weren't able to be at Everfree Northwest. Well, understandable. I'm always happy to see them, but Gabe was busy with America's... what was it? No. The Next Big Singer? But either which way, they're missed, but we'll have a chance to see them again. Just good things yet to come. But now suddenly I feel so silly. We all championed for Gabe to be part of the wild card and America's Got Talent, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But hey, there was a great support to him, and well, I'm sure he's going to have stories to tell at the next convention, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. Let's see, Magical Dude. Have I been keeping up with the Gen 5 shorts? And if so, what's my favorite? Dusty, I'll ask that question of him as soon as he returns. My favorite is the Sunny Code, where she's on a quest to find this, this new cloth that she didn't know even existed for a time. And it takes the combined effort of her friends. Honestly, I feel like it's a little too short. Could have made a full episode, 30-minute episode, but I enjoyed it all the same. I have been watching. In fact, this weekend I will show my friend Cruelka Kane a collection of clips featuring Posey. So try to figure out what's going on with her. Why is she the way she is? And what, even from just the little snippets we've seen thus far, what can we glean? What can we glean about Posey? Because one of the things about storytelling is that it's really not a good idea to just leave it at they're a jerk. The audience may get to express that, but as a writer, you need to have a better understanding of the character than just, oh, they're a jerk and that's it. Maybe you can explore why, or what's their goal, what their desire, why, excuse me, what may have made them that way. And honestly, looking at a few of the clips just on my own, it's like, there's a few things I'd forgotten that might change my perspective on her. But I won't deny I still consider her not Fluttershy. Let's see here. Yes, Synchro, she is a pipsqueak, and she is a dog lover, which I can never totally hate someone if they care about dogs. But yes, she is also known as La Karen Pony. Okay, Kamodra saying Mystery on the Friendship Express was the painting of the. Well, I'm gonna just. Oh, what do you know? I have Derpy Baru open. Let's just see here. MMM Mystery on the Friendship Express screenshot painting. It's a painting, not panning. Okay, so the screenshot in question. Let's zoom in a little. And I believe that referring to this rather stalwart-looking pony. I'm going to say that I don't think that's Twilight and Shining's uncle. I don't see the crest of the Sparkle family on him just yet. So I'll give that a closer look. This is sort of impromptu, but I'll take a closer look and see if there's a different resemblance, perhaps. Right now, I could see that as a former general or bigwig in the equestrian military. Military. And let's see here. Pardon me as I just think my way through this. Think. Think. Sigrid wondering, speaking of G5, any thoughts on the Chapter 2 stuff? Well, I will say we've seen what is likely to be the main antagonist for the series. Looking at the design, I wonder if there isn't actually a prison motif with both the castle and the character's design. I cannot, however, go into super detail on that because no spoilers. I love how Rarity says that. It's almost New Yorker. No spoilers! And then, of course, a loving smile because it's Rarity. And as we all know, Rarity can charm just about any pony. Or Griff. Let's see here. This is where we start to flex a little creative embellishment, I guess would be the right term. Because this part should come down here. Hey. Extra anchor point. Connect there. Go beyond. There we go. Go beyond the green. And bring it out there. Again, I really want to emphasize, look at this rider scenario. One, there is no windshield currently. There's nothing to say this is has any sort of protection. I'm assuming that perhaps there be a Bluetooth link to a heads-up display in the helmet, for a speedometer or any sort of warning. But to say that this does not require a helmet because it has four wheels is ridiculous. Abso-freaking-lutely ridiculous. Now let's see. Boom. Now, here's one thing I'm imagining. So I'm going to talk y'all through this because this is my thought process. This intersection right here, I'm going to have this be more white and spiky so that it can become the mane of the horse, but also if you fold the horse head down, it reveals a smaller eagle head, which will be the second form. Oh, Cherry Fluff, you may have to leave soon. Well, I hope you have a wonderful night and a good rest. Take care. Cosmina, you had a motorcycle drive-by? Well, I hope it was obeying the speed limit. Street racing has become an increased problem in where I live. And there's not a whole lot, well, by its very nature, there's not a lot you can do to avoid it other than staying off the streets. I don't know. And I always worry about motorcyclists who are like on the freeway, but then they weave between the traffic. Just if the traffic's at a dead standstill, they'll go over the line. I can see them clipping more than a few mirrors, but worse still, getting hurt if someone were to open a door or just something random to happen. Just because I don't like the way someone's behaving doesn't necessarily mean I want them to come to physical harm. Going back to that makes my mind go back to what we were talking about with Queen Elizabeth and, well, how there are very strong reactions both positive and negative to her passing, or I guess you would say her legacy. There are people in history that I've heard the news of their demise, and I can't say I shed any tears. But I also told myself, don't dance on their graves. Don't celebrate this. And I guess that's just how it is sometimes. You approach with the knowledge this was a thing, this is a fact, it has happened. How you react is your decision. I decided not to mourn, but also not to celebrate. I think it will be very different depending on people and the individuals in question. Maddie, you gotta go. It's good to talk to you. I'm gonna be putting in the Ciderfest applications after the stream, so I'll keep you up to date. Rocket Raider, wondering if the equine head could be stored behind the vest. The vest of, well, I'm not sure if vest is a specific term for the motorcycle. I mostly know of it as an article of clothing. Oh yes, and Sheriff was wondering which of the Maze Runner versions do I like, the books or movies? I have not gotten to see. I have not read or watched the movies, so unfortunately, I'm a poor resource on that regard. Oh, hello.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Dusty. How you be?
Yeah, I'm good. No, full.
Full is good. We had a question earlier.
This looks like a Japanese manga monster.
Well, then hopefully
with the yellow eyes and the green eye sockets.
It's true. I did realize. I wonder if I should turn the lights off, but it's kind of cool to have them on.
It is kind of cool.
Maybe I can model the horse's head to look like a miniature version. Yes, I like that idea.
Yeah, maybe.
We had a question earlier about the G5 shorts that air each week.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been keeping up, and do you have a favorite?
Yes, I've been keeping up. I think the one that just came out I like the most, which is the party episode.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's trying to have their own party, and then they melt them all together.
Yep, do the pony, oni, oni, oni. And I like that they brought back the Hitch and Pit and Sunny secret hoof shake.
Yes, they did bring that back, and they gave Izzy a party can.
It's funny that at Everfree, one of the cartoon courts we did was Pinky suing Izzy for copyright infringement. And then this happens.
I wish I'd have made that one.
Well,
and then this happens, yeah.
I mean, we settled it with a party duel, which is too bad.
Oh.
Okay, I'm being a little selfish, but I thought I made a pretty good argument for preservation of creativity and avoiding a monopoly or chilling effect for derivative or transformative works. But I can't deny a good party off either.
Yeah, sure.
And Step 2 Harmony did a really great job portraying the characters.
Those girls are amazing.
I'm trying to recall when I first saw them. I know definitely celebrated them at
Nightmare Nights.
Yeah, most like, yes. Because I mostly remember the competition at BronyCon 2018, where they performed, and they did a fantastic job. I mean, and I believe they won, because that was great choreography between them. That was...
Yeah, they rent dance halls to do all their practicing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And let's see here. kind of going in stages. Now it's time for Horsehead.
Now it's time for Horsehead.
Now it's time for Horsey. Yay. Let's see here. So, okay, this has been a thing, because I check out the Equestria Daily forums after the new shorts have aired. And one of the things I've been kind of fascinated is how people react to bodily humor. Like, there's an episode where everyone gets hay fever from a magical plant, but it turns out that your sneezing can make things glow and sparkle. So a pony makes a career out of sneezing on stuff.
That's gross.
Oh, yeah. And then more recently there was Cloud Puff was missing and everyone was freaking out.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
And Cloud Puff, it turns out, was just eating bath bombs and, well, giving out a different sort of potpourri, I think.
Yeah.
And I found it sort of fascinating how people react to this, well, gross out humor. I find it kind of charming because growing up, girl shows did not do gross out humor. Oh, no, they were proper ladies.
True.
And I like that that this new generation is willing to be a bit more risque.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember any G4 that had that kind of humor in it. Which episode?
Well, let's see. I know there was a joke in the My Little Pony comics. Rarity and Pinky were in a bubble bath. Were in a bath, and there were bubbles. But it wasn't a jacuzzi.
Right.
That's what I mostly remember. But
yeah, I can't nail down a G4 fart joke in the 9 seasons. I mean, even the pranks. Yeah, the Sync Richie had brought back in 28 pranks later. They had the whoopee cushion. But that's a whoopee cushion. That's not like a fart joke.
Well, I mean, it's meant to be a fart joke, but it's not. I mean, you know, it's just a whoopee cushion. Whoopee!
Night go.
Oh, someone's heading to bed?
Heading out.
Oh. Ever heard the news? Let's see here. Goja Lion wants to know, ever heard the news of the next Godzilla Kong movie of them teaming up again?
No, I don't keep up with kaiju movies.
And honestly, I'm not a fan of them teaming up. They are... well, I'm going to say it. I think Godzilla wiped the floor with Kong in their movie. I mean, I've probably set off many a Kong fan. But I feel like Godzilla was... Godzilla represents nature at its most primal, while Kong is very much adaptive, even using tools that turn Godzilla's own power against him. But for them to work together requires a bit more rational thinking. And I think Godzilla is more instinct-driven.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, and I know they worked together to stop Mechagodzilla, but, well, I didn't think that movie was very good anyway. Okay, actually, here's my own advice to future writers. If you create an adult character who's trying to get the mental one-up on a teenager, he's not a very good guy. I'll just say that right there, right away. You pick on a kid, you are automatically not a good person.
No, not at all.
That's why I couldn't stand the Teen Godzilla storyline.
What? Disney's jumping the shark now.
Uh-oh. What have they done?
At the D23 Expo, they announced a new movie, Mufasa, which is an origin story for Mufasa, going from an orphan to a king. If you thought they were ripping off Jungle Emperor before, woo, here you go.
Good Lord, no money pit left unexplored.
Nope. They're digging a hole deep.
And actually, I'm sorry Maddie had to leave because I saw her tweet about the new Pinocchio movie.
Oh yeah, I've heard bad things about that.
I haven't really heard much other than she said it was worse than the live action Lion King, which is itself a contradiction. It's not live action; it's a lot of CGI.
A better movie for Disney to do would be the original Scar.
Yeah.
Right? What made Scar the way he was? How did he get his scar? How did he become so evil? There's no reason to do a Mufasa. Who cares? He's not interesting. Scar is interesting.
To see how the villain fell.
Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, I was talking about this with Cruelica and Kaiju no Kami. Dusty, what do you think about characters like Superman and Captain America? Kind of like Mufasa, people will say they're not interesting because they're the moral Boy Scouts. They're the pinnacle of the good guys.
They are. But if you read the comics, which most people didn't, there's many, many years of comics to go back and look through that both characters have had their worldviews challenged. Especially Captain America.
Oh, yes. Although Park Captain America has had to contend with, drawings by Rob Liefeld, was it?
Oh, God. Yeah, the man who can't draw angles.
Man who can't draw angles. He basically drew Captain America with such buff proportions, it seems utterly inhuman.
Yeah, most of his early anatomy was horrible. If you saw X-Force 1 when it came out, you were laughing. Every panel, you never saw a foot. He couldn't draw them. So basically every panel, if it was a full body, all the feet were off the panel at the bottom.
So I mostly remember him for those little wedge feet.
Yeah, I guess he couldn't draw them. Somehow he got a contract to do this comic, which was a huge ripoff of other things, and he couldn't draw anatomy to save his life. But he's a rich man. I can't argue. Somehow he got rich on it. No, he got rich on Deadpool, which is, I think, the only character from those days that still exists.
Well, that sounds about right. I can't recall many others. Was he all involved with Wildcats?
I think he's in and out of Wildcats.
Okay. Because that was, I think, that's the only superhero group outside of Marvel or DC that I ever really got invested in. Mostly because of the Saturday morning cartoon.
Right.
Which, by the way, had one of the best theme songs.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, you get your blood pumping every time.
Evangelion007 asks, what if Make Your Mark turns out so bad that it kills the franchise and demotivates Hasbro to continue? That's not going to happen.
Oh, no.
It could be bad, but they will still do 26 episodes. minimum to put it into rotation and maybe kill it off. Give it a few years to stew and then try again. Because My Little Pony is one of Hasbro's biggest money pits that they get.
Oh yeah, I mean, remember, this is the same franchise that produced G 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, they big swing and miss there. So, and then they said, okay, we're going to do G4, but it took them 4 or 5, 6 years to get there because people had to lose that taste in their mouth. Oh yeah, Hasbro will never kill Transformers, and they'll never kill My Little Pony. They'll keep doing My Little Pony again and again and again. It just depends on what they're gonna do with it. It's like, oh, he's in space. Who knows? You know, it's. I don't know what's going to go happen with the Netflix series. I really don't. I really hope it's watchable. The special, I have no reason to go back and watch it.
I have reason to go back to talk about reward and punishment, as that's ties in, but that's more a very specific case study.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you all will get to hear our thoughts as soon as Saberspark records his lines for...
as soon as Saberspark gets off his butt and records his stuff, then the Bronies React will be here.
Yeah, we had a laugh about that.
I can't believe we found that out. It's like, it's all on Saber. It's like, oh, come on, dude.
This came up during the Bronies React panel at Everfree. We were wondering, hey... You know, you don't want to like hammer at the door or be impatient, but it's like, hey, when are we going to get to see? And it turns out Saber has not recorded his lines as of the convention.
Yeah, AC was saying he's been editing the whole thing together, and he has an actual piece of art that says "Put Saber stuff here." So he's edited the whole thing together. With a placeholder.
With a placeholder. And so we're all saying, Saber! Get it going! So I imagine I'm confident he took the hint and went right to recording.
I'm confident he's working on it.
So it'll come, but I just found that pretty hilarious.
I mean, we got to get it done before the Netflix series drops. Right? Because then it'll be too late. Then we have something new to actually react to. I'm sure we're going to do the premiere.
Oh, yes. Confident of that. Now, I wonder how it's going to be because, like, well, it's what, 9 episodes as a batch, and then we'll go down the line, and then they'll release another batch. But just today, Netflix announced they were going to abandon the binge model and try to have just weekly releases, which I like more.
I kind of like that myself. I don't mind watching batches of anime, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't like watching sitting down and watching Netflix for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't like going through a whole series in just a day because you never have a chance to digest what you've just seen.
No, you don't. It's like, I like that week off between, so I can like, oh God, what happened last week? How did that react to something happened 2 seasons ago? You know, and let my brain digest it and make my assumptions, make my head cannons and all that. But if you try to like fire hose an entire season, you can lose stuff from the first couple episodes by the time you get to the end.
Now, granted, that can also help a show because I remember I watched the first season of My Little Pony in like batches of 3. So if there was ever an episode I didn't like Over a Barrel, I could just move on to the next one. So I didn't get to stew or resent it.
Oh, yeah.
I only got... Then, the first time I ever encountered like an episode I really couldn't enjoy was Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well. And then I had a whole week to just sort of be like, this is why it didn't work for me. And let's see here. Let's take away... which one's... there we go. So yes, my robo-horse is coming together.
Yes, it is.
Definitely got the chrome. I was saying to the audience, right now I'm just emulating the colors of the bike, but I'm gotta change them. Because, I don't know, this looks more like a Green Lantern ride right now.
It does. What if Green Lantern turned himself into a horse?
Beware my power. Green Lantern's... Or what would it be? Like an equestroid species?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've already...
Well, you have to remember that the Green Lantern Corps took someone from every civilized race.
Mm-hmm.
And they had their own Green Lantern. So if there is a horse species out there that has its own planet, like Equestria, it could have its own Green Lantern. Could you imagine if they actually did a Green Lantern MLP crossover?
That would be something amazing.
Wouldn't that be cool? How big would the ring be over the hoof?
Or over their neck? Around their neck?
Over their neck, yeah. Huge.
I mean, you could cheat and say, give it like an ear piercing, but I was like, no, it's got to be prominent.
No, it's got to be prominent. It's got to be like this big, maybe the bottom of the hoof or something. He just holds the hoof out. It's like...
I mean, I know the Green Lantern Corps has had a representative from a raccoon species and a fly species.
Yep.
So there's got to be more.
Got to be a horse species.
That's right. We got to write DC. We, the Broly fandom, demand
a Green Lantern
horsey
for Milo Pony.
Have your people call Hasbro's people. This would work.
Yeah,
we'll buy it.
Would work. Drawn by Tony Fleeks.
There we go. Agreed. Let's see here.
Written by Illustrious Q.
Written by Illustrious Q, and according to Inquisitor 751, voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Because he's everywhere, and well, actually, that would be wonderfully ironic. Have him just give us I can't go back, man. I can't do it again. I tried. It didn't work. Plus, I'm pretty sure I killed that idea in Deadpool.
Yep.
Which was hilarious. And let's see. So now trying to draw a mane. But no, this will not work. It must be something different. Gotta take you down. Boop. And I guess still use the same white as the tires. I'm not going to include these gray. I don't know what this gray patch is meant to represent. These tires.
I don't know.
These tires are
really
strange.
I don't get it. I don't know how they rotate.
Could this be like Batman's bat pod and like the engines in the wheel?
Maybe. It kind of looks like it.
Would certainly explain the complexity. Oh, actually, I've been working with this, but I haven't really read Young Machine. Does that mean they're going to produce a middle-aged machine and a senior citizen machine? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I just find it funny. Oh yes, I had a slightly elderly moment today. I was treating myself to a drink at a really good taco restaurant, and they didn't card me, and I realized that, and it's like, oh, they didn't card me.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. Whenever someone does, I say, oh, you're very kind. Because I know.
Okay, I'm finally getting a closer look at the thing. And it looks like the hub. That's a white tire with a gray patch.
Uh-huh.
And the hub has this triangle thing for no reason whatsoever.
Triangle thing. Let's see here. What's the best view?
Well, the green round at the edge of the tire.
Oh, yes.
There's 3 of them on both sides.
Yes.
But they extend to the tire for no reason. Because you lean that tire over, you this has obviously never been built, never going to be built. It's all in a computer model.
Which somehow makes it more appropriate for my videos. It's like, this is the impossible machine.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe they built a model of it. I see this at a Tokyo. I found pictures of it at a Tokyo auto show, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So they've made a model of it, but I don't roll. I'll find video of it. Well, here's some video of it, but it's computer. It's not live.
No, I doubt we'll see anything truly live.
Yeah.
What I remember, Boeing once did a rollout or a demonstration of their newest plane in 100% artificial.
Right.
And it was, at the time, it looked so convincing that you'd almost swear as it rolled into a hangar.
Then, yeah, this bike has a lot of Tron elements.
Uh-oh, maybe Disney's trying to make a comeback that way. Tron, watch as we try to re-age Jeff Goldblum.
I just can't get into this motorcycle. As a motorcycle. Okay. As a piece of art, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little sci-fi-ish.
A little... I've always been the kind of guy that's like, it's got to be rideable. I mean, I don't like show bikes you can't ride. Yeah, they're nice exercises in art, but they're useless as a motorcycle. You might as well just call them art or motorcycle fired art.
That's fair. I mean, I was wondering earlier if there had to be a Bluetooth connection to a helmet. Otherwise, you have no display for speedometer or any kind of mechanical problems.
Yeah, again, they're probably thinking ahead that you're going to get that in your headset.
If and only if you are required to wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, I'm still baffled by what you said about 4 tires means you don't have to wear a helmet. What?
Yeah. Syncre is asking me about being on Tara Strong's podcast. How was that experience? It was pretty okay. It was kind of cool. It was nice to have Tara come to me for one, which was kind of weird because I'm sitting here at work, my phone goes off, and I'm thinking he's one of my friends, and it's like, oh, it's Tara Strong. What did I do wrong? Why is Tara contacting me? So, because she never does. I think it's the first time she ever did. And, do you want to be on my podcast? It's like, okay. I didn't even know you had a podcast. But yeah, it was pretty cool. They did the voice actors and those people before us. So when I got into the Discord call, Peter was still there, Ashley was still there, a couple other people, and I hadn't turned on my camera yet. And Ashley was not going to leave if she saw my mustache. She said that. It was like, I was going, what?
Well, it is a magnificent mustache.
It is.
There we go. Oh, for a guy who's just winging it with a horse, I'm pleased at how this is coming together.
Yeah, it's not bad.
If anything, it's going to be kind of weird to turn it back into a motorcycle. It's like, okay. Like, this head tucks into where all this stuff is. So, going to have to rely on sort of the magic of imagination on that one.
It's magic.
If you believe, everyone, I can rider kick this monster and it'll explode.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Master Gidara 91 wants to know if there are any languages we'd be interested in learning.
Japanese.
Yes, I picked up on a few words just from listening to anime, but if I was
you can't really. Their grammar is so screwy. It's like everything. It's almost like Mexican Spanish. Everything is spoken backwards.
Oh yeah. Well, my biggest. I learned some Spanish in high school, but for me, it's the speed with which it's spoken.
No, it's. I have listened to somebody Spanish over a phone. How do you understand anything they're saying? It's like it's so fast. You can't even get inflection.
Yeah, exactly. I'm at a loss. Now, honestly, I feel like Spanish is the smart language to learn because it is, well, the official language of, and I've lost count of how many countries. And even then, like Portuguese is a variation.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I think you can actually get by. English may be the commerce language of the world, but Spanish is the flexibility language. At least that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, if you were doing business in Asia, right? Actually, the language to learn is Mandarin Chinese, because that is the language of the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they don't speak regular Chinese; they speak Mandarin. So it's a bit different.
Makes sense.
It's also harder.
Well, of course. Well, it wouldn't be a worthy challenge if it weren't harder than, the normal.
Yeah. I just wanted to learn enough Japanese so that when I go there again, I can actually understand half of what's going on.
I've never been to Japan. I would very much love to see it.
I'd also love to have a really great conversation with my friend Daisy Main, because he's learning English, and I want to learn enough Japanese to actually surprise him that the next time I see him that I can actually hold half a conversation with him.
Makes sense to me.
Master asks, how does Mandarin Chinese differ from traditional? Well, traditional Chinese is the language of the rich. right? The high, the upper crust, the educated, right? Mandarin Chinese is the slang of the people. So they're sort of like getting slang from the American South, the American Southeast, Southwest, Michigan. You have all of these things. It's a big melting pot of accents and language you get from different areas. Right? There's certain things that happen in the American Southeast that nobody talks about in Michigan. Right? But it's all melded together. That's sort of what Mandarin Chinese is.
Well, it's a strange comparison.
Bastardization of Chinese.
I'm remembering Magic Knight Rayearth, where they talk about characters having an Osakan accent.
And that's another thing in Japan. Southern Japanese is not the same as Hokkaido, which is the very northern island. It's the same here in America. Texas accent, right? Midwestern accent. Southern accent. They're all different, and it's the same in Japan. You have a northern Japanese accent, and then you have Osaka, and then you have Hiroshima. They all have different dialects of Japanese and how they're said. One of my favorite bands, people know, is Bandmate, and they speak in the regular Japanese, and they sing in Japanese. But for April Fool's Day, about 4 years ago, they changed their name to Band Mako, dressed themselves up as geishas, and redid the lyrics of their most popular songs in the dialect of Osaka, which changed the lyrics and made them just a little different. And they used traditional Japanese instruments into their songs, which made it so much cool.
Dusty, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, from there things were just really quiet. But that's interesting. I would not be, my ears would not be trained to catch the difference, so I'm glad you point that out.
And it's just some words, right? It's just a turn of phrase. Like you say y'all in Texas, and they don't say that almost anywhere else in the country. Right? So Osaka, especially under Geishan times, has a different dialect.
Makes sense. Although I've always been a little jealous that no one says, "Oh, you have a Denver accent." It's like, no, we're just so, I don't know, generic, I guess.
Yeah, it's like when I first moved out here, people said I had a Midwestern accent. Now, I don't think I have an accent at all. More, but it's like, I guess maybe I did. Again, I don't. You don't ever think that you yourself have an accent because you're listening to yourself all the time. I mean, I'm sure that people in Texas don't think they have an accent. So.
Well, I always have a favorite story from my father. He's from the Bronx, and on a trip back to New York, he was passing a father and his son and a dog, and the father kneels next to the kid and points at him and says, "This is a dog." Right? Say a dog with that specific accent, and he thought that's how it continues, perpetuating the dialect. A dog.
Yeah. Well, it's like I had to do the hot dog vendor character in one animation, and they wanted a a New York accent. Or no, it was Boston, excuse me. It was a Boston accent. So I actually called up a friend of mine, Brony, who was from New England. And when I asked him, hey, I need help with a Boston accent, he said, what part of Boston? I don't know. Generic Boston, I guess? No, man, there's North Boston, there's the docks, he went on, it's like, there's like 6 accents in Boston.
Oh, man.
It's like, holy shit. So I said, just write this out in phonetic Boston anything. So he rewrote the whole piece in phonetics so I could get the accent.
Nice. Let's see here.
And that's one of the reasons I do such a horrible Australian accent here, too. That's the joke that it's so bad. Right? So, you know, when brain not working. Our gentleman from Australia character comes in and starts giving me hell for it. I just look him in the eye and say, "It's a joke, son. You missed it."
It's a joke, son. You can laugh.
Yeah. And actually, and all the characters give me hell for it in every episode I'm in. It's like, Maddie is like, it wasn't so bad. You know, it's like, I just keep doing it. I keep going on. Doesn't matter what they say. Yeah, Saxton Hale.
Saxton Hale. Hell, Saxton Hale's never had I don't know if he's ever had a speaking role himself.
No, he hasn't. He just had Oz Cat. He's from Australia in the game. Right? So it's like, okay, they said, you're going to come in as a Saxton Hale character. You're going to have this Australian accent. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny if it was just bad? And I sent in my first lines like that. And they sent it back. They came back and said, is that really? I said, yeah, it's supposed to be bad. Oh, then they got it.
It's kind of funny when we're supposed to be the comedians, but yeah, sometimes even we need the joke spelled out to us.
It's one of those things where sometimes you do something so subtle, people will just miss it. I mean, it's funny to you, and you think it's funny, and it's a joke, and then some people just won't get it. I have this one story from back in my furry. Me and another artist, we're going to play a joke on the entire fandom. An art joke. Which is reaching in the first place. So we got these big cloth canvases. And he sketched out a cat girl and a fox girl. Just outlines.
Mm-hmm.
And we did those outlines in black sparkle crayon. Then we got Rit dye in orange and red. And threw water balloons full of Rit dye at these things that splotched them. And then we took orange and yellow paint, and he did this long vertical drip thing on his cat. And I did this violent triangle throw thing and made a triangle around my fox girl. And then we got the biggest gold grape leafy frames for these things. And then we took them to a fandom art show in California. And we hung them in the art show. And we called them the sofa paintings. Now, if you know this type of art, you know what the joke is. These are Jackson Pollock ripoff paintings. So, I'm sitting there talking to some other artists, and this one artist that we know, who goes by the name of Astra, who has the weirdest art. I can't even explain it because this whole stream would be shut down. But that kind of artist comes up to me, grabs me by my shirt collar, is shaking me, and saying, those are the most wonderful things I've ever seen at one of these art shows. They're amazing. Oh my God, it just went on for like minutes. And I'm like, and then he went off to tell people about these paintings. And then I turned to my friend, I said, nobody else is going to get it. And nobody else did. But my painting sold $25. The frame was more expensive. So we had this other piece, which was the cat girl, that we were going to take back to Tulsa, which is where I lived at the time. So we had it in the truck. So we were going to stop in LA and see some friends before we left. And one of those people we saw was Mark Schurmeister. Now, Mark, at the time, was animating at Warner Brothers. Very big name animator at the time. And we told him the story about the painting. And he said, "You have that painting?" We said, "Yeah, it's in the truck. You want to see it?" So we brought it in, and he thought it was the most amazing thing ever. And he said, "Can I have this?" And my partner who painted it said, "Yeah, you can have it. We don't want to take it all the way back for nothing. Yeah, you can have it." So the story goes that he snuck it in to Warner Brothers, put it in a nice frame, and hung it in the waiting room at Warner Brothers. And nobody noticed. They thought it was this wonderful piece of artwork. And it hung there for years.
What finally ended the reign?
I don't know. That's all I know, is that it was there. I have no idea when it left. I think it was still up there when Mark Schurmeister left Warner Brothers.
See, that's that's great. I mean,
it is the ultimate. We played the ultimate joke on art. So basically, yeah, it ended up at Warner Brothers.
Or perhaps you both played the joke, but also played the ultimate tribute.
No, I never thought Jackson Pollock was too talented, because anybody can throw paint at a can and then tell you what it means. It's like, okay, well, a cat can do that. A dog can do that. I've seen dolphins do it. What makes you so special? Other than a really good beer. And that was the joke. We had absolutely no... We didn't think this guy was anything. You know, anybody can do this. See, we... Night, Ender.
Oh, Ender, you got to call it good? Well, honestly, I look at the clock and I realize time's gotten away from me.
It has gotten away from us.
We're just about... I know we had a late start, but we're just about at the 2-hour mark, and I don't mean to monopolize all of Dusty's time this good evening. I'm glad you had some dinner, though.
I did get to have some dinner, so.
That's important.
Thank you all for having me.
Oh, yes. Thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts on, well, a great many subjects.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to
And at least I've got at least the front half of a horse going.
It's better than the back half of a horse.
That comes later.
You set yourself up for that one.
Oh, yes. That would help if I turned up the volume on these things. There we go. Otherwise, that's just a pain in the patoot. But anyway, everyone, I think this is a good stopping point for now. I will make some more modifications to my audio setup around so that I can host other folks without making them listen to their own echo.
Echo.
But Dusty, I so appreciate you dealing with that and just sharing your thoughts with us, because it is always a blast to talk with you.
It is a blast to talk with you. It was great seeing you the weekend.
So, actually, I guess that raises the question, can we look forward to seeing you at any more conventions this year?
No.
Nope. Yep,
this year.
As a friend put it, we're 16 Fridays away from Christmas.
We are 16 Fridays away from Christmas. And I think my next convention is going to be Babs.
Well, then I will look forward to seeing you in person at Babs, but hopefully get to talk with you again before that.
More than likely, I'll be around.
Well, excellent. Well, and to everyone else, I just want to wish you a wonderful weekend. Take it easy. I mean, the world keeps on changing around us, so sometimes you just got to stop and take a breather.
It'll be nice.
I think that's what this weekend could very well serve. So, until next time, be safe and be well. I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.
I'm Dusty Katt. See ya.